So why do people ghost? Why do they disappear? You get an inquiry, you have a great conversation, sounds interesting, send them some information, you may have even spent the money that you think they're going to spend with you, and then they disappear and that's it. And then we get an inquiry and it all starts again. I call this the conversion death loop, and that's what we're covering in today's episode 1033 of the Daily Sales Message podcast. So the conversion death loop, why people ghost, I think, and I've pretty much proven from my own research and my own testing, there are 4 things that your buyer needs to hear and see from you. There's 4 conclusions they have to draw from your messaging and from how you're communicating. And if even one of them is missing, it makes the sale difficult. If you're missing more than 2, it makes it pretty much impossible. Now, we cover this in a lot more detail in my What to Say to Sell program, and you can find out more there at whattosaytosell.com. But the 4 things are, and they're pretty much in this order, but certainly this first one comes first. The other 3, maybe the order jumbles about. Do I understand this? So do people actually understand your offering? And that is my wheelhouse. That is clear sales message. That's what I do predominantly for a living. I help people explain what they actually offer and what they actually do. Do I understand this? The second one is differentiation. So can they see the difference in choosing your offering over a competitor, an alternative solution, doing it themselves, or just leaving the problem and hopefully getting away with it? The third one is, do they trust you? Now, I go on quite a lot about having over 500 LinkedIn recommendations, mostly because I'm just proud of myself because I set a massive goal and I hit it. But it's become an amazing conversion asset for me, because when I talk to a potential client, that is my bank of proof. I've got over 500 people that have said lovely things about me on the internet. You can't fake it. You certainly couldn't bribe that many people. So that helps people to trust me, and they listen to the podcast and they decide if they think I'm an idiot or not, and so on and so forth. But for your buyers, how do people know to trust you? How do you prove it? So we have, do I understand you? How do I differentiate that I need you? Can I trust you? And then the final one is, can I justify the spend? Now, this doesn't matter how cheap or expensive you are. The actual price of your thing almost doesn't matter, because we've all bought things that we can't afford, so to speak. If you've ever had a bank loan, car loan, finance, credit card, whatever, you bought something you didn't have the money for, but you were able to do it because you could justify this spend in your head. And that's what we're talking about here. Can they justify the spend in their head? So it doesn't matter if you're cheap or expensive, and they're relative concepts anyway, but how do you help the buyer to justify the spend? This is where we look at things like return on investment, ROI, QER, quantifiable end result, things like that. So if you're losing people, they're ghosting you, it's probably because they don't understand you. They can't differentiate as to whether they need you over the competition, or not doing anything, or doing it themselves. They don't know if they can trust you, or they've decided they can't trust you, and they can't justify spending that money with you because they don't really see the value. That's why people fall off the conversion death loop. That's why people ghost you, and that's what we cover in a lot more detail in What to Say to Sell. So if you want to improve your sales conversion and know what to say, and to be much more confident about things, head on over to whattosaytosell.com, and you can check out my weekly webinar where I talk you through the conversion death loop, those 4 factors, and a whole lot more besides, to help you know exactly what to say to sell. Right, that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me in episode 1034. Tomorrow, 1034, I'm talking about a phrase that somebody else coined, and I'm so jealous because usually I'm really good at naming things and coining language. I couldn't do this one. Somebody else did it, and I thought it was awesome. And that's what we're talking about tomorrow.